Hello everyone and welcome back to another screencast. This one's on shapes. It's on similar shapes, but this is just focusing in on area, okay, and how that affects area. If you have not watched the previous screencast on congruent and similar shapes and talking about lengths of sides and scale factors, then I'd highly recommend you go over there. But for those that have done that already, then here we go. We're moving on. Similar shapes. So two shapes are similar when one can become the other after resizing. So either enlargement or a negative enlargement. Flipped, slide or turned. All right. Resizing, if one shape can become another, is using resizing. Fun, maths is fun.com. That's where that came from. Now, here we go. Area is a term used to define the amount of space taken up by a 2D shape or surface when measuring area. We use square units. Hopefully we know what that means. I've absolutely butchered that, I know, but anyway, let's go on to a typical question. So the area of rectangle A is 12 centimeters squared. Work out the area of shape B. So here we go. Here goes the rectangle A, and we're going to work out the B. So the way that we do this is really simple. We use the formula for a rectangle as a starting point. So what's the formula? Let's write that down. Oh, sorry, we need to have one length of the other side. So there's the formula. Area is base times height. Now we do not know what the base is. The base is missing at the moment. It won't be shortly because we're going to work that out. But that's our starting point, okay? Now, arguably we could have done the bigger one. We could be using this one up here and do the same thing and then use the information. But we're not going to do that. We always start with a small one. All right, so we've got area is base times height. Now, the area is 12. So we're going to replace the A with 12. And the height is 4. So we're going to replace that with 4. So we'd rewrite that as 12 equals base, because we don't know it, times 4. Now, hopefully you all know what to do from now on, but I'm going to quickly go through it anyway. So what's the opposite of timesing by 4? It's dividing by 4. So we're going to divide both sides by 4, and that ends up with 3 equals B, or B equals 3. So bang it down. All right, now we're going to use the skills we learned in the last one. How do we get from 4 to 12? Or 12 to 4. We are timesing 4 by 3. Okay, we're timesing 4 by 3 to get to 12. So we're going to times 3 by 3 to get to 9. And we'll put that down there. Now it's very simple. What's the formula for area? It's base times height. So area equals base times height, or area equals 9 times 12. So we'd write that down. Area equals 9 times 12. And 9 times 12 equals 108 centimeters squared. So the answer for that one would be 108 centimeters squared. Right, now it's your turn. Stop being lazy, get off your bums, and work out the following answer to the question. And then come back and see if you've got it correct. Okay, starting point is to write out the formula. Area equals base times height. We know what the area is, that's 15. We know what the base is this time, that's 3. So we write that down. 15 equals 3 times h. Divide both sides by 3. And we end up with 5 equals height, or the height equals 5. Bang it down. How do we get from 3 to 9? We times it by 3. So let's times 5 by 3 to get to, you guessed it, 15. Then we're going to use the formula again. Area equals base times height. So area equals 9 times 15. Happy days. We're all good. We can quickly do that now. Area equals 9 times 15. And area equals 135 centimeters squared. Very well done. Now, they get a little bit more tricky, but trust me, it's not too difficult. We need to know the formula now to work out the difference in triangle, the area for a triangle, okay? So just remember that a triangle is half a square. So the formula is area equals base times height divided by 2, because it's basically half a square or half a rectangle. So what do we know? We know the area and we know the base, but we do not know the height. So I'd put that down now. 16 equals 4 times the height. I don't know what the height is. The height is missing at the moment, yeah? So what do? Obviously, I'm going to divide that by 2. But what's the opposite of divide? It's times. So I'm going to times both sides by 2, and that's going to give me 32 equals 4 times h, 4 times the height. Divide both sides by 4, and we're going to end up there with the height equaling 8. So I'll bang that in there like that. Now, how do we get from 4 here to 8 there? We times it by 2, so I'm going to do the same thing, timesing 8 by 2 to get us to 16. And I know that's ridiculous because this is definitely not twice the height, but they're not drawn to scale. Anyway, we're going to use the formula again. Area is half the base times the height, or half base times height divided by 2. So we'll definitely write that out now. Right, so what is 8 times 16 divided by 2? And the answer is 64 centimetres squared. Okay, so now it's time for you, yet again, to do it on your own. The numbers change, but the method stays the same. Give it a go. Work out the info for those 2 triangles there, please. Work out what the area for shape B is. Way you go. Pause the video now, give it a go, come back and see if you've got it right. Okay, so what is first up? Very simply, we'll write down that formula again, don't we? It's area equals base times height, timesing by 2. We know what the base is, we don't know what the height is, but we do know what the area is. We write that down. 18 equals 4 times height divided by 2. What's next? Times by 2 both sides. We end up with 36 equals 4 timesing by the h. Divide both sides by 4. We end up with height equaling 9. Bang that in there, guys and girls. Now, how do we get from 4 through till 8? We times it by 2, so it's an enlargement by a scale factor of 2, which means that we're going to do the same thing to this side. So 9 times by 2 to give us 2, 18. Use that formula again, input all the information, and our answer is area equals 72 centimetres squared. It is time for the quiz. So we know that that parallelogram A is worth 20 centimetres squared. So work out the shape of B. Now, to give you a little bit of a helping hand, the formula for this is still base times height. Still base times height. So just use the same formula because it's a parallelogram, base times height. Give it a go, come back and see if you've got it right. Okay, here we go. Answers here, base times height. So we knew what the area was. It was 20 equals base times height. We didn't know what the base was, but we knew what the height was. Divided both sides by 5. The base was 4. Okay, so how do we get from 5 to 15? Times it by 3, so we times 4 by 3 to get to 12. Then we use that information, and the area was 180 centimetres squared. That is it. Thank you very much. I've actually made quite a few mistakes in this screencast. Not that you'll know because I'm going to edit them out. But it's been a real joy. I've enjoyed it, creating it, and hopefully helping you guys be better at this part of the topic. But until next time, I hope you have a great day, great evening, or whatever you're going to do.